Bro, he's a brown Muslim man talking to the fucking literal, like, brown Muslim killer. You know? Like, how are you going to just fucking ask him about being depressed and humanize him? And with his situation, he knows better, too. He knows better. 100% he knows better.
Mr. President, when you do your end-of-the-year lists,
yes,
do you really read all those books, watch all those shows, and listen to all those songs?
You were so impressed with Obama.
Listen,
Oh, no, you don't.
I am so glad that I had this opportunity.
Please.
People, they believe the books and the movies, but the playlists, they somehow think, and this is mostly coming from young people like you.
Yeah.
Somehow y'all think you invented rock and roll, you invented hip hop, and so the fact that my lists
He wants to kiss him.
are
It's
pretty incredible.
like the love
Yeah.
in this room.
It's like, Mr. President, thank you for legalizing gay marriage so I can have gay sex with you.
Please.
That's what he's saying.
This is so horrible.
Yeah. I watched the HasanAbi broadcast at the top of the hour. There's a 3-minute ad break. And sometimes he forgets to run it. And he runs it 17 minutes later. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Right? Bad, I know.
I think that was the best
better than
you've ever
Hey, well,
done.
yeah.
I like that because it was bad, which is
Yeah.
why I'm giving it 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
All
can't-
right.
I can't rate it.
Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
People seem to think, well, he must have had some 20-year-old intern who was figuring out, you know,
I can't do a good Obama.
this latest
It's
cut.
racist.
No,
Don't do
man.
that.
It's on my iPad right now.
You have Life is Good by Sir featuring Scribs Riley on your iPad right now?
do. Come on, man. Don't play with me.
Okay.
This is the common
All right,
thing
let's
with
cap
Obama,
it.
just
Let's cap
he's
it.
so
Let's raise the rim a little bit.
He knows what a song is.
Give me the plot line for Afterlives by Abdul Razak Gurna.
Dude, how much time do we have here? Come on, man. Look, here's the bottom line of my playlist.
You didn't read the book.
And my book list and my movie.
You got him.
list. I am very scrupulous about making sure that this is stuff that I actually like.
Yeah.
I will confess that there are times on the playlist, on the music list, where I will get suggestions.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I got time to be listening to music all the time. So
Like how people
typically
do.
at the end of the year, what happens is folks will be like, man, you need to listen to this. This is good. But unless I'm actually listening to it, watching it,
Motherfucker didn't read that book, bro.
No, he completely dodged it.
But also, he would have been fed the questions before this interview.
Yeah.
So he would have known.
That's crazy. He just straight up pivoted. That's unbelievable.
That's the one thing he has to do. Just know the one book, know the one song.
Yeah.
reading it, I won't put it on there.
Gotcha. What would happen if you didn't choose Michelle's book?
Well, that would be foolish of me because we
classic
share a bank account.
wives. Nah.
We share he made the bank account joke. Why
Yo.
I'm spending all my money?
The old white ball and chain.
Oh, no.
I was hanging out. I got to see. This is
From the GOAT.
This is a flex right here.
You know, he brought this over to my house in Chicago after we
Muhammad Ali
after
came
we
to
got
his
left.
house.
Did you say who's Muhammad Ali?
No. I said, whose gloves are they?
Oh.
You don't say
Alex
who.
doesn't like Muslims. You should know this.
I thought you
I
said
hate
who.
boxing as well. I know nothing about it.
I thought you literally said who's Muhammad Ali. Oh, who's that guy?
I know Cassius.
Yeah, what is he? Is he like a singer? Like, what's up?
And because he used to live in the same neighborhood where our house is
Oh wow.
for a time when he lived in Chicago. And by that time, he,
His
you know,
music is
he,
so
he was
inspirational.
already
They're
having
doing
trouble
this in a day
speaking.
spa.
But somehow managed to like communicate just through his face and his
It was so cool too to see
expressions.
him. Did he do little bits and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, he did like the whole magic tricks.
Yeah.
And, you know, all kinds of stuff. And
Hasan Minhaj gotten jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, kids loved him.
Obama's fucking tall, bro.
He was a big spirit,
Hassan is
a big
tall.
soul.
Yeah, it was really interesting. When I was a kid, he came to the mosque when we were little in Sacramento. I grew up in Sacramento. And for him to just show up and play with the kids, it was such an iconic moment.
Yeah, he's one of those folks who, there have been a handful of people who, when you meet them, you're all like, oh, this is exactly what I was hoping.
Yeah.
You know, Mandela was one, the Dalai Lama.
Mandela would have hated this guy.
Queen Elizabeth.
The Dalai Lama. Damn, bro, you're gonna put the Dalai Lama on there with Mandela? That's kind of fucked.
Mandela lets kids suck his tongue.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yo, chill. The Dalai Lama. He said, "Suck my tongue."
Exactly what I
and I did it.
It was great.
Dude, oh, he said Queen Elizabeth. Oh my God, he's such a cuck, dude. You're not even president anymore. Who cares?
Wait, when was this filmed?
Just be like, I like Jay-Z or some shit. You know what I mean? You invited him to your fucking birthday. Why? Why is he doing that?
He's appealing to us.
Like,
We like the Queen.
Yeah.
ay.
Charles Mulder.
Surprising.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's exactly the way
Bro, they literally brought a commemorative fucking item from Australia to celebrate the king's coronation.
Our new king.
Yeah.
You guys are
Fucking hell.
It's a once in a lifetime thing.
We are jealous. You're right.
Queen Elizabeth living up to the hype?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Even Hasan Minhaj was like, listen, I'm here to dick ride, but like, come on. Queen Elizabeth living up to the hype? Okay.
another one.
It's cool that you have one of these. I always wanted something like this, but this is a cool moment right here.
Yeah, well.
Two iconic Muslim Americans right here.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm actually going to lean on you to be my therapist a little bit. Help me understand.
Come on,
this,
I'm going to help you out.
So meet me here. I'm here speaking on behalf of so many voters.
Yeah.
And
First
so
of all,
many
let me set my watch.
Wait, is he going for president? When is this
You know,
filmed?
that's part of
people
the
still voting
process.
for him?
I know the session's only 60 minutes, and
That's
that's a
exactly
whole
right.
other conversation. I feel that the times that we're living through right now are bleak in a way that they've never felt before in my life.
Oh my
We're talking over there.
God.
I'm 37. This is the 6th presidential.
This guy got his like shit canceled by Saudi Arabia, and ever since he's like, "Oh, dude, actually, I was doing it all wrong."
Wait, what happened with Saudi Arabia?
I mean, he shit on Saudi. Was it Saudi Arabia? Right? He had a Netflix show. He had one of his episodes pulled because the kingdom was not very fond of his like episode on Saudi Arabia, which was pretty good. I mean, he's pretty good. He's done a lot of decent shit. He's probably the least lived up out of all of the like comedian political satirists.
Like that or don't like that he's a lib?
No, I like that he's not lived up. Like I'm saying, he has like a lot of interesting, solid takes on a lot of issues.
it's
And
hard
now,
though.
and now he's like he's doing like a centrist pivot.
If you were in a room with Obama, you might do the same. I feel like that's this kind of like power.
I would never be in a room with Obama for that. No one is putting me in a room with Obama for that reason.
Yeah, we can work it out.
You will do it.
Yeah, how are you guys gonna do it?
He's that guy.
Obama, the only room I'll see Obama in is the mosque because he's a Kenyan Muslim. That's right. Yeah, Allah's room. Okay. Yeah, Barack Hussein Obama.
Election I'll be voting in. But it just seems more.
John Oliver clears. Yeah, you guys are so wrong. John Oliver is fucking dog on foreign policy. Whereas,
That's the English guy?
yeah,
I hate
He's the
that
one that
guy.
copied our North Korean
Oh,
jokes.
what an asshole. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas like Hasan Minhaj at least had like a unique perspective. And I like John Oliver, but the reality is, you know, on foreign policy is not very good.
More insane than ever. Congress is insane. Voldemort is running again. You got corruption in the Supreme Court, Roe v. Wade, book bans, trans bills, culture wars, mass shooting, climate change. And now everybody's wondering if they're going to be replaced by AI. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, I'm going to meet President Barack Obama, and there is no way the hope and the change guy does not feel depressed. You are too smart to not feel depressed. You're too intelligent.
Am I too smart?
So Hasan, let's work through
Gotta
these
think about
issues.
this.
Yeah.
Am I a genius?
It's weird seeing Obama say my name. I just realized.
All right. So Hasan, let's work through these issues.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What's his pronunciation like?
That feels weird, bro. What the fuck? Okay, that felt weird.
You weren't listening to any of that. You were listening to him saying your name.
Yeah, that felt weird. Okay, now I'm thinking like, sir, how brilliant are you? Like on a scale of like Albert Einstein to Stephen Hawking, how brilliant? It was Stephen Hawking, right? The one that was like
In the wheelchair.
Tony Hawk. Yeah.
Tony Hawking. Tony Hawk.
First of all, of course, there are times where I feel depressed because objectively,
I've done horrible things.
when you see an entire school
Bombed. Exploded.
terrified because
I thought he was literally.
Yeah.
When you see an entire school drone strike, like, you know.
Of course. It's a terrifying thing.
weapons of war.
Right.
If your heart's not breaking,
Oh, he's doing the classic liberal thing where it's like, these are weapons of war meant to be used on brown children. Not on the brown children on U.S. soil, okay? Just brown children in Afghanistan and Iraq.
and something's wrong with you. If you think that's normal, then you really do need some therapy. If you're not stressed about climate change at a time when we're seeing record forest fires and haze floating right here in DC coming from the north and flooding, and all the evidence is that we're not moving as fast as we need to. That should cause some distress and some anxiety. So the issue for me, at least, and maybe this helps you out, is not to be blind to the genuine challenges and threats that are in front of us. Two things, I guess,
What is he saying?
I do for
thought he was
myself.
good at
Number
talking.
one is I do try to maintain some
goes on
perspective.
forever.
When you say, this is the worst things have been since you've been around.
Sure.
Well, dude, you've only been around 37 years.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Ask your parents or your grandparents whether this is the worst that they've seen.
He was crying after Sandy Hook because he knew that no mere mortal could ever hope to top his school record using drones in Afghanistan. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's like, these are weapons that I can use.
Seen. And I'm pretty sure that between World War I, World War II, Great Depression, Jim Crow,
It just went backwards.
lynchings, the partition of the Indian subcontinent,
Right.
The killing fields in Cambodia. We can go through some lists of moments that are significantly worse than this. Part of the challenge that we have is that you grew up, and in some ways I grew up, during this anomalous stretch of time.
It's a really good
In
advice
which-
for depression, just thinking about other people
Even
having
though
it worse.
bad things were happening.
He's a...
For the most part, the trajectory of humanity was things were getting better. We were becoming less racist and less sexist and less homophobic and better educated and healthier and wealthier, and extreme poverty was being reduced. And there was this, and then the Berlin Wall comes down and Mandela's released, and there's this enormous
Americans
sense
were trying to
that
keep him in jail the whole time.
many of the ills of humanity were behind us.
Do you feel there was all this stuff that you were pushing forward, and then when you have rollback of certain democratic institutions, do you feel damn, you don't feel that at all? Because what
Yes.
Mr. President, what I'm trying to get out of you,
Oh my
Is he the
God.
president? He's not the president.
No, that's normal. You say
You
when
say
you're
that to an old president?
yeah, when you're president once, like you're president. That's what that's how it works in America.
That's pretty cool.
You guys have such respect for your leaders.
Yeah.
This is better than
Yeah, because we're
North Korea.
fucking cucks. Also, what do you mean? You're Australian. The king is your king. You don't get to
we
speak
love
on
it.
But
this.
that one's hot.
Yeah, he's fucking
And he stops
sausage.
being king when he dies.
He's sausage fingers. Yeah, when he dies.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, I don't think he
Queen
died.
Elizabeth is still the queen.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no.
Refer to her as Elizabeth.
No.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you guys are one step ahead of the monarchy.
Yeah, but they can stay president.
actually? I'm actually just going to say it. Emotional honesty.
Yes.
Because when you first came into office, when I was Sasha's age.
Right.
You were like Ted Lasso season 1. Folksy, optimistic.
Libs is so infuriating.
And
I can't stand this, dude.
Well,
Why are they like this?
They did Voldemort before as well. They just
Yeah.
they love these horrible references.
God.
It-
It's like Ted Lasso season 1.
I've never watched it.
I've never watched it either. I just like think it's fucking. I don't know. I watched one episode and it was just like, unbearable. I hated
Is
it.
it the one with the guy with the hat?
He's a soccer
He's got a
coach.
hat?
No, he's the fucking professional cowboy who uses a lasso.
That's what I thought. There's a guy with a hat.
Teddy
See,
Lasso.
I knew.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
a
the
cowboy
show.
hat and he has a lasso and he goes to England and lassos people.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I understand why everyone likes it.
And now, some of these kind of like Vox.com talking points feel like Ted Lasso season 3.
Oh, man.
Predictable and at times forced. And what
Wow.
let me give you props.
That's a tough review.
But I want to give you props.
Yes.
Remember that moment where you were like,
he's gonna give him props?
the hot mic, and you're like, Kanye's a jackass.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass. No.
And everyone's like, yes, yes.
That's whack because he didn't say this. He said this when Kanye was like kind of cool. And yeah, he was like still behaving in a manic way, but he was like actually making a statement about how the fucking Grammys are absolutely racist and that, black women have a much harder time winning any kind of praise from these institutions in comparison to white women. And that's what he was saying. Like that was his sentiment, which is like this many years later, we all kind of recognize as true, right? Or was it the VMAs? Not the Grammys. Sorry, it was the fucking VMAs. Anyway, so it wasn't even like one of those, or it was the MTV Awards and Taylor Swift fans voted for her. Was it the VMAs, MTV Awards, whatever? These fucking award shows are all the same, okay? And we all recognize it as true. Do you not? I thought this was like a common narrative now. I mean, its significance is up for debate, but like ultimately, the Oscars so white, that kind of shit, like, that stuff is, that kind of stuff is like pretty common in the discourse now. Anyway, he was being a dickhead, certainly, but that was what his sentiment was supposed to be. Meanwhile, Obama is like shitting on him for that. Not current Kanye. Current Kanye deserves it.
There's these moments of emotional honesty where there's such deep resonance
when he
because
doesn't know the mic's
American
recording,
public
that's
feels
hilarious.
gaslit and lied to. I will say this about the other guy who was in office. He was a factual liar, but emotionally honest.
He was always who he is.
Yeah, but I think
Your stands are the most disloyal. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
progressives sometimes can be factually accurate, but emotionally dishonest.
Oh.
And if there was just a moment where
I am going to be.
Bro, he lasered your family members, dude. What the fuck? He literally had complete disregard for murdering people that look like you, just not in America, but literally in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Okay, maybe not India, but still, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
That's some amazing emotional honesty from you, Hasan.
Yeah,
That was
it's just
really
like I'm
emotionally honest.
being a progressive again. You know.
Look, I can't be something other than who I am. And so I am going to tell you the absolute truth. Emotionally.
yes,
Have there been times over the last 4 years,
Indians hate Pakistan. Hasan Minhaj is literally Muslim. Okay, I know he's Indian, but he's Muslim. Okay, that's what I'm referencing here.
you know, during the period of my successors
He's having a lot of trouble saying it.
Yeah,
being
he's
in the White House,
got the Biden disease.
where I was cursing up a storm. Absolutely. Were there times where I
I
felt
swore in the past, like that wasn't the question.
as if our best impulses had been replaced by our worst?
What does that mean?
Yes. Have there been times where my basic optimism about the human spirit is tested, and I say to myself, I'm not sure that we can get our act together.
He's gotten really
fast
rusty.
enough.
He does all these like softball interviews. He can't actually talk anymore.
He also kind of looks old. Like he looks like he got the life force sucked out of him.
Yeah, yeah. He gets haunted at night by
to
the
solve
by the
these
babies.
really big problems like climate change. Not because any individual person doesn't want to solve it, but because of a basic collective good problem. Like, how am I going to get the Chinese and the Indians to cooperate? And you know, when I look at demographic bulges in places that are poor, and you know, how are we going to get them education fast enough?
Right.
It feels overwhelming. So I guess this is the point I'm trying to make, is that I, at least 3 to 4 times a day, think, I'm not sure, you know, we can manage this, because we're a bunch of...
He's like, I couldn't kill enough of them.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. They're overpopulating, and I could not kill enough.
Did not have enough weapons.
chimps with guns and big machines.
Yeah, talk that talk.
But we're basically still operating at chimp-like levels. Right. And it doesn't matter if you have enough, you know, you got a banana, somehow you still want everybody else's banana.
He sounds like Biden, it's amazing.
And we're greedy. And
this is what happens when the adrenochrome wears off.
all those things are true. And yet, what I also say to myself, because I witness it, is the capacity for us somehow to kind of keep this thing afloat.
Right.
And to,
What is he saying?
in this messy way,
Right.
He's not said anything.
Mr. President, you're
kind
so
of
right.
muddle through.
Talk the talk.
And when we
Yes.
muddle through long enough, in small increments, things get a little bit better, and we get a little bit kinder, and we get a little bit more open-minded. And as Michelle's mom, who's one of my favorite people, and she says, and you know, us old people, we die off. And because we've got old ideas.
Right.
And then the new ideas come in. And
Like drone warfare.
that process,
brand new thing
if you
come up
take
with.
a long enough timeline, can make you feel not, you know, like everything's going to be hunky-dory, but it can sustain your spirit, because you say to yourself, you know what,
boring.
if
He's born in
we can make things a little bit better,
Damn, dude, Trump has way more riz.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Even Biden's better. This is actually
Trump would have
insane.
shit on like 11 newscasters by now. Yeah. It would have been like, Jesse Waters, he's gay. Everybody knows it. His masseuse knows it. Like, he's just, what is happening here? I guess maybe
Better's
we
really
got
good.
too
I used to
used
say this
Trump.
to the White House all the time.
The showman.
Better's really good.
Right.
So let me give you, I know I'm not trying to filibuster here.
You're trying to filibuster.
No, but I think this is going to be responsive to your question. So
Sure.
But if you want to tee it up,
Can I
that's
give
fine.
you a little?
Go ahead.
A little. What I would have loved when the Merrick Garland thing happened.
Yes.
I wish you would have done the thing that LeBron does after calls.
Yes.
You've seen the meme where he's like, just do that. Get a
I
tech.
want more memes.
You've seen the meme,
I'm not saying
Mr. President.
don't double tech. Don't Draymond it. Don't get thrown out.
Mr.
Get
President,
tech.
have you seen the meme?
Get it. Have a moment to just go.
Yeah.
Too much Timothy Chalamet. We've had enough. We know who he is.
Hey,
that
when you do
ceiling.
that
And just
SpongeBob
hit- and
meme,
we're
go
like, yes.
3 minutes later.
There are
Can
a
you do
couple
that
of times where I did do that.
In a French accent, Mr.
You got it.
Obama.
He said, I did do that, by the way. He's like, oh, LeBron James? I did that. I did that meme.
He learned that from me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was
So
happy to get the tech.
Okay.
The most obvious one was after Newtown. And
I mean, I love this. This is a study on liberalism. He's like, Mr. President, you had no power to utilize the bully pulpit, so the least you could have done is do the LeBron meme when you were not allowed to appoint a Supreme Court justice in this like incredibly unceremonious, ahistorical fashion that the Republican Party chose to not let you have, which led to the supermajority of right-wing Supreme Court justices, which is eroding civil liberties in the country, Mr. President, while you're making podcasts. So you could have just done the meme, though. That would have made
things feel a bit
That
better.
would have fixed it all.
Yeah. It's so sick. Thanks. Because, like, you can't change anything about policy. You can't change anything about how fucking
But if you make things a
awful
tiny bit
Republicans are. You can make memes, though. You make memes, Mr. President.
So I had 2 days after
I am in support of, in support of gay people, in support of queer people, and
these
also certainly
in Sandy Hook.
Oh.
I spent
every time he says that, we all perk up like, what, is he going to talk about it? It's like, in Sandy Hook. Oh.
Damn it.
Yeah.
basically an entire evening with those families. It's the only time I ever saw a member of the Secret Service cry while on duty.
Right.
Bless
And
those
then
boys.
we came back, and I assumed, all right, this time, this will prompt something out of Congress.
Right.
And these parents, like 2 months after this had happened, came down, and they're walking around Congress, and they're meeting with Mitch McConnell and others, and looking them in the eye and just say, just do something. Just show us that our kids matter to you. Congress.
And he should have done the LeBron meme. Mr. President, you should have done the LeBron meme there. You should have went like that.
When Sandy Hook happened, what is this?
Fuck.
Just not, you can pull up my Rose Garden press conference after that happened. I
did the meme.
I went off.
Yeah.
And
He went off.
Oh, dude, you
I think
snapped.
the point you're making, though, is a legitimate
My wig was snatched, sis. You went off, dude. What the fuck?
one, which is, in retrospect, when I think about my presidency, there were times where stupid stuff was happening, and sometimes I would say, all right, look, let me stay calm when probably...
Yeah, like when Ferguson protests were happening, and I went up there and I said, "You guys, you're being violent. You blacks need to stop it.
This water's
You need to-
actually great.
You need to cut it out." Or yeah, when he went to Flint, Michigan, and he was like, "This water,
Drinking the water.
very clean."
Yummy.
That was really good. All those times.
some of my supporters would have liked to see some
Action.
expression of, we're not crazy, are we? That was crazy stuff
Yes,
that
yeah.
person did, right?
A little bit of that, yeah.
The point I was going to make it quickly, because I know you got stuff you want to cover.
I love that
Malia
sentiment. The
comes to
president's
me,
only
she
there
says,
to
"You know
relate
what?
to. That
She's
was crazy,
24.
right?
All our friends.
Just want a guy in power to say, yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing that's the only power that the presidency has, or the only goal of the presidency, because like the machine is going to churn out the results that is expected of the machine. So at that point, you want like a national mourner, like Joe Biden, or a national vector for anger, like Donald Trump. So Republicans are looking for someone who's going to yell about a bunch of like irrelevant dumb shit that has nothing to do with the actual issues that Americans are facing, which creates an awesome distraction. And then liberals are looking for a guy who's going to say like, well, you know, look at the situation. It's not good. It's not good at all. And do the LeBron meme. You know?
Friends.
Pussy too.
We
ever
sometimes we talk
Pussy
about
too?
climate
What's Pussy
change
too?
and we just feel
You've never seen Pussy 2?
What's Pussy
What?
2?
There's a new
God.
kind.
Pussy 2.0.
He's like, I haven't even seen Pussy 1. What is happening? You've never seen Pussy 2?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too.
That's real?
Yeah.
Why is he
You've
saying
never
that?
seen that?
No.
That's great. I like Obama now.
Yeah,
He's
Pussy
had
2.
sex.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean he's had sex.
like there is no way we're gonna be able to solve this. We're looking at the science. It feels as if we're on a trajectory that we're going to sail past this 2 degrees centigrade benchmark, where after that, potentially things are getting cataclysmic. And so I'll be honest with you, Dad, a lot of my friends, they just feel as if, what's the point?
No, this is like his daughter talking to him.
The world's burning, and there's nothing I can do. And I said to her,
I showed a little bromine.
well, she asked me, what should I say to them?
Right.
And what I said to her is, look,
Oh, it's so fucked.
we may not be able to cap temperature rise to 2 degrees centigrade. But here's the thing. If we work really hard, we may be able to cap it at 2.5 instead of 3. Or 3 instead of 3.5. That extra centigrade, that might mean the difference between whether Bangladesh is underwater.
They got a pride
It
flag
might
in the
make
window.
the difference as to whether, 100 million people have to migrate,
Right.
or only a few.
Right. And these incremental changes.
That matters.
Yeah, I see what you're
It
saying.
makes a difference.
Sure.
And
And
to
it's
be
worth
able,
fighting for. And
it's worth fighting
And you
for.
can't descend into nihilism and not try to save those
Yes,
100, 200, 300
I
million.
love that Hasan's like, bro, this shit is so boring. Like, he has to speed up the fucking interview. He's like, yeah, you mean just like don't descend into nihilism, incremental change is good.
It matters.
That's a lot of
I agree with
people.
it. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
We're turning the corner, and we're going to get into the next presidential cycle, 2024.
Right.
And Republicans and Democrats, generally, they have the same strategy.
Right.
It's called energizing the base. And I'm going to see you. You're going to be on the Save Democracy 2024 tour.
Right.
You're going to be hitting elbow jumpers. That's what I do. You're going to do that.
Oh.
You're going to be doing hot ones. You're going to be in a video, like those Twitter videos with like Mark Ruffalo. He's going to be crying for some reason. Just the Hulk, hey, we have to, Georgia. You know, it's like, and you're going to be, that's right, Georgia. And it feels like Stephen A. Smith, ESPN First Take, emotional manipulation tactics.
Yeah.
How do I get you to care about a 2-hour basketball game
Right.
for the other 22 hours of the day where you're arguing with friends
Right.
and
He's
neighbors
done so many basketball references.
and not actually really thinking about the core issues? Do you think there is any way, any other way to go out there and energize the base without exhausting or terrorizing them?
Yeah, I did it in 08, I did it in 04, I did it in 12, and I think you can still do it now. Look, here's what makes it challenging, at least on the Democratic side. I can't really speak right now to the mentality of the GOP at the moment.
Sure.
They've got a lot of work to do. They need some therapy.
But I've been certainly asked to lecture other people
Yes.
into voting.
So
I get asked by a lot of
No,
people, hey, you need to tell people to do this. Yeah.
I do think that speaking to voters as adults and not just resorting to fear, but describing how problems could be solved, has some resonance. Look, let me give you a specific
So
example.
can you meet me here? Why should exhausted voters vote? Meet me there. I'm exhausted. This is my 6th time.
I get
I'm
it.
exhausted.
All
Meet
right.
me there.
So here's an example. Right now, the African American unemployment rate is the lowest that it's been in a generation.
That was Trump's
Now-
claim as well. He said this was a him.
A bunch of those jobs, bad jobs. Are some of those jobs temp jobs? Are some of those jobs low-wage jobs with a lot of turnover? Okay. Yes. But you know what? Tight labor market means that there are a bunch of families right now who can pay for groceries, even with inflation, that their kids are living in a pretty stable household, that on Christmas, there's a present under the tree. And a lot of that has to do with policies that have helped to bolster the economy and encourage a tight labor market. Now,
That's sick. Obama's like, oh, you don't want to, people aren't voting? Explain to them
That they have
that-
Christmas.
that there's a tight labor market. this will surely help. Just explain to them the how there's a tight labor market and fiscal policy. This is how Americans are going to go out to vote.
Oh, that may be wonky. That may be not sexy.
Sure.
You know, it's not as cool as talking about fascism's coming.
Right.
But you know what? I actually think that if you speak to people about something like that,
Yeah.
people go like, huh, yeah, that I guess that's worth 15 minutes of my time to go down to the polling place and vote.
Yeah.
So my
You don't
experience
have to
is
vote in America, do you? No, that's crazy.
Yeah, we don't have compulsory voting. Bro, if we had compulsory voting, like, some people would go to jail.
Yeah, well, because they wouldn't vote.
They half the time they can't vote. We don't have like a national ID system that like everyone has by default.
So you have to show your ID when you vote here?
In certain places, but also it's not just that. I'm saying like in countries where the voter participation rate is like much higher, sometimes they have voter ID laws, right? But they also have IDs.
Yeah.
In America, that process is one. You have to go and purchase it, so it's a costly and also endeavor that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Also, we vote on a fucking work day
Nice.
during work hours. It's not a national holiday.
When's ours?
It's usually weekends. They do it multiple days.
Yeah.
And you can vote early.
Yeah, you can vote early. You can vote.
And that's also
remotely.
on purpose. You know what I mean? They make it as difficult as possible and as confusing as possible to deter people from voting.
Yeah, well, you don't want the poor people voting. You're like, yeah, this is great.
Places where there's compulsory voting, they don't do it on a fucking Tuesday. They have, they've made it as easy as possible to get everyone to participate. Americans don't want that.
Well, also, compulsory voting is funny because like everyone votes because of it, but the fine is like $20. It's like
Yeah, it's not supposed to be. Compulsory voting fines are not supposed to be like.
We don't have to show ID. There's no ID. You rock up and you say your name, I think.
Well, it depends on local and
And that's why I go around to every voting station.
Yeah,
and take everyone's vote. It's great.
Then this is before we talk about electoral college, making people feel powerless, gerrymandering, the Senate being completely uneven, like structurally unequal. There's just so many issues. And then you arrive at the two-party system where neither party is representing your interests. Why the fuck do you vote then? You know, there's so many reasons why you don't vote in this country.
There's always a sausage.
Here's a great
sizzle
example.
at ours as well.
Here's one awesome thing I will describe to you right now. This motherfucker said to Obama, how do we get people to go out and vote without lecturing them? And Obama, instead of saying, well, you got to get them to vote for something like I did when I lied to them in 2008 and actually galvanized the younger audience and a base of support. Instead of saying that, he said, explain to them inflation and tight labor market. Lecture them on the tight labor market and its impact on the economy and American economic stability. It's like, well, yeah, that's the reason why people don't want to vote, dude. What the fuck are you saying?
That's exciting.
He didn't do that when he was running. That's the funniest part. He was fucking ripping Hillary Clinton, saying, she's a warmonger and how he's going to close Guantanamo and like end the fucking war on terror and all this other shit, which she lied about, right? But like now he's like forgotten about what made him successful, I think. Yeah, he pretended to be significantly more progressive than he actually was.
Yeah, you give him pussy 3.
Yeah.
pussy 3.
Yeah.
Drop pussy 3 and then
Which is very odd.
that fear is a great motivator. And politicians and political consultants and advertisers in the political space
34
know
MKD50.
how to
Thank you for the 50 get the
tweak
subs.
that.
This election is unlike any other.
Yes.
That sort of thing, yeah.
But what, I think actually people do respond to is when they feel like the person's speaking for real. Authenticity is an overused term.
You mean what I'm trying to get you to do? A little bit,
Which
right?
I'm actually doing.
Okay.
Which I actually do
Yeah.
on a more regular basis than people give me credit
Just
for.
do the interview.
What
Don't give
confuses
each other
people
marks.
is a couple things. One is I am a little Spock-like. I am a little bit rational. I tend to think rationally about most stuff.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit hopey-changey. I do kind of like that.
Commit to anything.
You talk to Michelle.
I know.
Michelle will tell you, you know what? He's a little nerdy.
Yeah.
He's got swag. He's cool, but he's a little nerdy.
Right.
God, who
And he
talks
really
about
is
themselves
kind
like
of
this?
optimistic.
Yeah. I've
about
seen your
stuff.
pre-glow up photos. I'm like, yo, he's a dorky McDorkerson.
You know?
And I mean that loving. Okay,
I'm not taking it that way, but that's okay.
So when I drop this,
says
when we drop
dorky
this on
McDorkerson?
my family WhatsApp,
Yeah.
it's going to be 50-50.
Yes.
And I want you to help me explain this to family members.
Okay.
Half of Indian WhatsApp is going to be like, sick.
Yeah.
The other half is going to be like, what did Barack Obama ever do for us? And what I like to do, this is my take. This
Yes.
is how I ameliorate the situation.
Yes.
And tell me if I have the right take here. You're in the writer's room with me.
Yes.
I go, the presidency is like parenthood.
Yeah.
A president can properly F up a country.
Yes.
Like, you can take a country to war. You can really
You
F
can
up
make
a
some
country.
big
stuff he
mistakes.
did.
You make some big mistakes.
Yes.
But you
say
can't
you made
make
some
your
big
kid
mistakes?
LeBron. You can't. The delta on how the uptick is very small. Is that the right
It's
framing?
easier to
I
fuck
I
up
think
a
here's
To
a,
country
temper
than it is to do
expectations.
anything.
yeah, I think here's another way of
make
saying it
LeBron.
is,
Which is what everyone
and
wants
I've
their
used
kids
this
to do.
analogy before,
Yeah.
but I think we're in the same space.
Right.
The ship of state, and for that matter, the course of the world and history. That's a big ocean liner. It is a aircraft.
Whereas the main
carrier.
appeal of Obama is
And
lives
if you're
finding people who are
the
as
captain
annoying as them.
and you're steering that
would be
little
the
wheel.
worst person to talk to in the world.
You can
Obama.
steer
just
it
a
with all your
fucking
might.
weirdo who's in love with
and
himself.
you might move it a degree or two.
and just thinks he's saying the most profound
And
things.
within the
What is
time
this
frame
metaphor?
of 3 years, 4 years, 5
Has
years,
he told this before? This metaphor?
if you
metaphor?
screw up, you might get into an iceberg, and this is what you're referring to. You can really mess up the
then you'll be a
engine
submarine.
and
You
steer it
really
off
visit
course.
that.
Titanic.
But if you're steering it in a better course, that 1 degree, 2 degrees, you may not see it for a
Dude, why are these like, why are there upticks in the end
What's
here?
the most uptick? Does he get his dick out at the end? Is that why it's the most reply?
Sick. Pussy 3.
This is so bad. Yeah, that's where he unveils Pussy 3. He presents Pussy 2 here and then Pussy 3.
like this guy. Bring it back.
Dude, this is so bad. I don't even understand why he's like,